Hello everyone, welcome to this another short video. In this video, we are going to look at addresses, address groups, and regions. So these are some basic building blocks of policies. So these are the things which are used in the policies as sources or in the destination columns when we build the NAT, decryption, or the security policies on a Palo Alto firewall. Let's look at first at the addresses option. So on Palo Alto Firewall, under objects, you have this addresses option. Here you can create hosts, networks, and also the FQDN based objects to be used in the policy. So now let's create a host. Click on add. Let's give it a name. I usually prefer a good name. So let's see if I have to create a host with 10.10.10. I usually prefer edge underscore, so it determines it's a host. You can give a description like, let's say it's a log server, and then IP and net mask. Do you want to use a IP and net mask? Then we can say yes, like this 32, or you can also mention the only the IP address if you want to go for the just the host based value. So there are different options: IP net mask, IP range, IP wildcard mask, and then the FQD. And suppose I choose IP net mask, so let's create this, and then if you want to apply a tag to it, you can apply a tag. And that's how you create you know a single host object. You just hit OK and it is saved. Now let's create a network. N underscore 10.0.0.0/24. Yeah, in here slash is not allowed, so I'm gonna write it in this way. Now here I can say /24. I can call it my LAN subnet, and then I can apply a tag if needed. So that's how you create a network. And then now let's create a IP range as well. IP range, I would say LAN range, or I prefer the name like R underscore 10.0.0.10 to 10.0.0.15. So I'll just copy paste the range stuff here to save the time. Yeah, and then you can say these are special LAN IPs. Apply a tag if you want, and then hit OK. That's how you create a range. Now let's create another kind of address, that is IP wildcard mask. So let's say if I want to create any specific IP subnet, I'll just call it IP subnet, and then a description if you want. So if I mention 10.0.0.0 and then the wildcard mask for it, like 0.0.0.255, this actually is same as 10.0.0/24, because whatever bits are 1 in the wildcard mask, so they are considered as variable. Whatever bits are 0, they are considered as fixed. But wildcard gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of IP addresses you need to mention in an object, more than the subnet mask. Apply a tag if you want, or I can put a description here as well. Wildcard mask based object, and then you hit OK. And after that, let's create another object of a FQDN based type. Let's say www.google.com. Yeah, description not needed as it is Google. I'll say FQDN. I can say www.google.com, and I can leave it like this, or I can click on resolve. That way it resolves it. And if you click on any of this IP address to use, it changes itself to IP address and IP and net mask. But that's what firewall is going to do. It will resolve this name and then use its IP address in the policies if you use it. So that's how you create a FQDN based object. And now let's look at the address groups. So address groups are nothing but just essentially these addresses, grouped into a single object. So if you have 10 objects and address objects which you want to use in the policies, either you can mention those all 10, or you can create a group like I'm going to create. Let's create a group. So I will say object group 1, and then put a description if you want. Type static, and there are two types. So in static you can just browse what objects you want to add and just do this. And yes, object groups can also be nested, so you see there is also an option to add another address groups. So I use the object group a lot because I'm a Cisco person, so that comes from there. So don't get misled by that. Okay, so if there were more address groups, I can add one address group to another address group. So that's how we create a static object group. Let's hit OK. Uh, Static IP subnet is not a valid reference. Static is invalid. For what object it was coming? This one. Let me click OK again and let's see. Address group, object group one, static. IP subnet is not a valid reference. Address group, object one, static. Object group one, static. This, it is saying this is not a valid address to be used in here. So let's see what is wrong with it. Oh, this is a wildcard based one, so you cannot use these ones in the address groups. So now let's remove it. Okay, I'll again create it. Object group one of type static, and then add the values. I can add by clicking on add, or by clicking it here. You see this one, and this one, and this one. Yeah, that's it. That's how you create a group. And yeah, there is one extra. I'll delete the space one. Hit OK. It has now created an object group. Now in order to show you the dynamic groups, I will apply a tag to this. I'll create a tag for here and then apply it. Okay, I need to create a tag. Okay, tag is not present. Let me create some tags. Tags are created under this tag option. Let's create a custom tag. I'll name it tag one, and I can choose a color for it. Let's say red. And yeah, I can give it a tag. Then I go to addresses. I'll go here and I'll say tag one. So I apply tag one this to this, and I'll apply tag one to this as well. Yep. So that's how we do it. And now under the address group, when we have to create a dynamic address group, I'll say dynamic address group. And then instead of a static, it's a dynamic one. What you need to match, add the match criteria. Tag one, yes, whatever has the tag one applied. And if there are multiple things, then I can say or this tag, or this tag, or this tag, or either if there are multiple tags, then and this, and this, and this. And that's it. So whatever IPs have the tag one, they get part of this dynamic. You can see if I click on more, it will show you what addresses are part of it. Address groups, dynamic. Okay, it should be showing it. No problem. I think after the commit it will come. But let's look at the region field first. So there are certain geographical reasons. Those are, those have some predefined IPs, and those reasons are fetched from the IANA specific places by the Palo Alto, and then updated on these Palo Alto firewalls. But if you have an IP address that it's in India, but Palo Alto region says it's in US, so you can do that. Like suppose 8.8.8 is usually in US, not in India. So I can create a region. Those are predefined. So I'll take India. Where is India? India, yes. And I can give the geolocation if I want, but not needed. I'll just add an address in here and I'll ask Palo Alto, whenever you see 8.8.8, you need to map it with India region. And it will also have all the India IPs along with this IP. Now let's commit the changes. I'll pause the video for a minute while the commit completes, and then I'll show it to you again. Okay, so the commit is about to complete. You can see it's at 99%. Let's wait for it to finish, and then yeah, configuration committed successfully. Now let's go into under our addresses, address groups, and you see dynamic. Let's click on the addresses. Now you can see now it has taken those two address objects which has that tag which was used under the condition to create the dynamic user group, and these two objects here have the tag. Now I'll show you how to use them in the policies. Let's go under the policy section, and either security or not, doesn't matter. Let's edit this policy. And in this policy, if you go to the source section under the source addresses, you can add our objects we created. These are the ones. And then there are address groups. These are the address group we created. And there is region. And if you see, there will be I in region as well, which you can use GHI. Yeah, this is IN for India. You can use it here, and also same thing can be used under the destination addresses section. This all stuff can be put in here as well. So that's creating the objects helps us to give meaningful name to the IP addresses and subnets, and also to group them, helps us to keep the policies tidy, not having 10 objects in a policy, while have you can just create a address group and then put all the addresses in it and then use that group. And you can also do nesting between the groups. So in this video we saw one additional thing, that was tags. So tags are basically used to suppose there are few IPs, they belong to a specific department in the company like finance, so I can create different addresses for them, and then I can give them a tag as finance, and then define a dynamic object. So that dynamic object will inherit those all the addresses. And also another good thing is, suppose if I get a new finance subnet in future, I'll just create that address and then I'll attach that to finance tag, and it will automatically be going to my dynamic address group and will apply and the access will get applied wherever it is called in the policies. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in another video. Have a good day.